So yeah, I mean, in terms of talking about last hitting, there's kind of like two reasons that you can have. There's two acceptable reasons to have bad CS, and the two reasons would be, um, if there's high interaction, or no, that's that. The only reason, the only good excuse to have bad CS is if there's high interaction. And do you know what I mean by high interaction?
Sorry. Okay, so I'm guessing it would be there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, yep. So if like five people are in your lane just the entire like first 10 minutes of the game, then it's okay. Like if you have 10 KP, it's okay to have, less CS. But other than that, there are kind of two reasons we don't have CS, and it's either here. I'm gonna write some of this down. Missing CS comes from either mechanical ability, which this should be fixed as soon as possible. This should be focused on until it's solid at your level, at your plat level. This should be focused on until it's solid at your plat level. Or if you don't have priority. Because if you're kind of like getting zoned off a farm, like that's not really just missing the last hits, that's getting beat in lane. And that's a completely different
Yeah.
thing. So we'll see. I mean, do you know, like, do you have an idea?
I mean, I've had that happen to me before. Like I'm against like a like a fizz that just sits there, and if I just go anywhere near him, he's just gonna ult me. So like, that's happened before.
Yeah, right. So we'll see a little bit. Ooh, how do you feel about the Yasuo?
I've actually hit him a ton, like back in season 6 and 7, so I think it's fine.
Okay. I hate playing against Yasuo. I play Andy and Trin, like my champions counter him. I still don't like him. Just annoying. Hey, what's up,
Because
Nacho?
I can aim my E towards to where he dashes instead
Right.
of anywhere.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, cool. Somebody else wants a lesson after this. Awesome. All right. Okay. It's going to be a slightly longer stream than I thought, boys. Waiting for a treat. Last stream in Minnesota is going to be tight. Oh, man. Maybe that. Wait, what?
It's a Gwen top lane, and then it's
Zera
a
support.
Zera support. Yeah.
Interesting. Very, very high damage team.
We got Syndra ADC.
Oh, man. You guys have.
I mean, we have tons of CC. Like
This
they
is
just
such a
have
solo
Zera.
game.
They just have Zerathi. That's about it.
Such a solo queue game. Can't believe it. All right, so what's our thought process in terms of how do you feel about the lane phase? How do you feel about the jungle matchup?
Um, I think it's okay. I just can't die early because that lane's kind of cancer.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. If Yasuo gets ahead, he's very high tempo. This is a really fun jungle matchup too because these jungles are both very, very aggressive and they're going to be playing on top of each other a lot. So it's very likely that you and Yasuo will be moving towards your jungle instead of your jungles kind of sitting mid. We'll see how it plays out though. Yeah, you guys scale pretty well because you have, Graves, Senna, and you, but they also have, Yasuo, Kindred. So it's pretty similar scaling. This game feels pretty even to me. I kind of like their team a little bit more, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays.
I saw your video on not warding before 2:30.
Yeah. Hey, K, I appreciate the follow. Warding before, yeah, warding that early is so troll. The only person who can get away with it is the jungle, but that's because he's gonna swap to red trinket anyways. Otherwise, it's just kind of a waste of time. And generally, I play very aggressive champions, so I don't usually ward until I crash the first wave I crash. But if you plan on not, oh, he doesn't even switch to red trinket. Ugh, it's very upsetting.
Okay, so what I typically do is like right here, I usually just immediately start. Oh my god, whatever. I'm gonna be quiet.
Do you attack move at all?
No, I wish I did, but it's just every time I turn it on,
Yeah.
it's like I'm not used to it, so it's like I can't. I'm gonna lose.
Mm-hmm. And I don't like to talk too much while you play, but we'll do in-depth review after. Oh man. Yeah, CSing's
Yeah, I know.
not feeling great.
Yeah, I know. It's horrible.
Nice. Good click.
So
Ooh. Yeah, that's painful. Okay, you can pressure him now to use his ability. Yep, nice.
okay, here we go.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Yep. When he ease into your minion wave like that, I think you can cage him in and he can't do anything.
I mean, I would, but he, yeah, I'm just too nervous right now.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, like that's big. Yep. Oh, that's huge. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff.
Okay,
Yep.
so I want to crash this.
Yeah, I maybe would have backed on this frozen, but we can talk about that after.
I forgot about that, but you know, actually,
I would just back
I
right
just
now. Yeah, this is
yeah,
really bad.
yeah.
Backing early game, it's weird because the value of gold and the value of your health is higher. So you want to get backs off even if it's less ideal, if that makes sense. Especially if you get a kill. Like it's worth missing a couple minions. Yeah, this is going really well though. Because I feel like we're in a good spot to keep scaling.
I'm not gonna hit always.
Oh, it's tragic.
They're gonna go down there. So, oh, he's still staying.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Solemn? Welcome to the stream, my guy.
I almost want to ward this. Just
Yeah, so what I would do is ward the path
I already
up.
warded.
Yeah.
Okay.
So next time just ward the path
Okay.
up because it gives you more vision. And the support, like you might see the support and stuff. Hey, what's up, Camp? This is the folding clothes stream. Clothes are already folded. Yeah, this is really bad. I think we just check the wave state.
Oh, I just want to use a W here, so this can just.
Yeah, it's coming back towards you. You can just sit under tower.
Okay.
Wait, does he die? Almost, not quite. Graves got him. Hopefully. Oh, nice. He flashed for that too?
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, in this situation, you need to ping him to help you shove that so you don't lose any minions, but it's too late now.
Okay, too late. Well, it's right here,
okay,
so.
yeah. And you can back now. This is, yeah, good. Nice.
So, I usually like to get boots first. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, tier 2 boots are so good on any mage. And they're so, yeah. It basically makes you do true damage because it negates the small amount of base MR they already have.
They're gonna get.
Oh,
dragon.
Lost Chapter would have been better. I forgot you had an M tome. So Lost Chapter is better than Boots, but if you can buy Boots before Lost Chapter, it's very strong. Yeah, Dragon's not that big. Oh my goodness, this guy's like really bad.
I'm gonna see if I can get this. Come on. Oh, it's not gonna get it.
Damn.
See how terrible I am.
Yeah, it's the last hitting, man. You were right on the nail too. You right on the head of the nail with saying you kill your lane opponent, but you don't last it. Nice. Yeah, that's very well played. Yeah, you're very comfortable as champion.
Can I award this thing right here?
Yeah, that's fine. That's a very good defensive ward.
Because I feel like she's gonna go through here, and because this is already cleared, so.
Mm-hmm.
He's mad.
Yeah, this guy's seething.
I'm just gonna say my R just for him doing this crap. Okay.
Nice. Yeah, he's getting into lethal, but you're getting out of mana. Oh. I would maybe ping help here. Oh.
Oh my god.
Yeah. There's no shot he stays. He just dies to Graves, I think.
Try ping him.
Yeah, nice. Good. Now you just gotta get out of here. You gotta get out.
Okay.
You just have no mana.
I just wanted to get a plate for this thing.
Yeah, but imagine either their jungle or Yasuo gets there and you have to stay in lane with no mana. That's like
True.
Nightmare worst case scenario.
So
I think
pink ward and yeah.
Yeah, beautiful buy. Very nice.
I don't know why they're chasing that.
Yeah, I don't know. This game feels really, really good though. We're scaling. We have 40 CS at 10 minutes, which is kind of bad, but you know it is what it is.
I'm so terrible at it.
Yeah,
I have to rotate to this because
that's big.
I have exhaust too, so
Yeah, should
I'm so slow.
Oh,
okay.
Dang.
I didn't get any of those.
Okay. Yeah. It's fine. He loses a wave mid, plus we gain a wave. Were you there for the session today in the Nice's Discord?
Yeah, I was there for like 20 minutes, and then I had to eat breakfast.
Got you. Eat breakfast? It was like 1 p.m.
Yeah, I woke up like as you sent me that. Watch this.
That's so disgusting.
I have to... Actually, we should just get this.
Yeah. Even if Yasuo shows up, you just kill him. Exhaust? Nice. This game's over.
Do we keep going?
Yeah.
Do we keep... Okay.
You maybe go one more.
We should go this way, shouldn't we?
Yep.
After this.
Yep. Yeah, start walking up now. And W, the Raptors. If they're there, they're nice. Hey, what's up? Will you share? How you doing, man? Nice. And you get the back now. You got big item. And we're backing with our teammates. Yeah, this is like best case scenario. This is awesome.
This is bothering me.
Yeah, Aptom, I think.
This?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could have maybe sold refillable for the blasting wand. But you'll end up using the Aptom at some point. That was kind of awkward. I would have stole some of the Raptors for that. All right,
He's
Senna.
dead anyway. anyway.
Just don't feed the 0-10 Yasuo. That's how he hits his power spike.
Okay, this is Zareth right there. He exhausted
Yeah, the
me.
exhaust is brutal. Ooh, you might have to flash that. Okay.
I had to
Nice.
flash that.
Yeah.
I'm so
Ooh,
screwed.
yeah, please leave. Please leave. No. Not worth dying for the 3 minions.
There's a kindred there
Just get
too.
out of there. Yeah. Screw all of that.
I also have a really bad habit. I'm gonna ping this. I also have a really bad habit of like selling items I shouldn't be, because like with the if I see something, if I can buy this, I can just sell this. I just end up wasting gold sometimes.
It's not bad, but there's a way to think about that we can talk about after. Here, I'll write that down. Buying items and spikes. What elo is this? This is plat 4, I believe. Low platish. Yeah, it's a very high level game from their team as well.
I'm just gonna keep pushing this. They can just chase that all they want.
Yeah. Maybe
Oh,
pan
wait.
up towards Darius. Yep. Pan your camera. Oh,
She didn't die.
24 HP.
I'm so dead.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you panned your camera before you started moving, you would have saw that there were like 3 people
I didn't
there.
see. I didn't see 3 people there. I only saw the one. So, like in this situation, I would almost sell one of these to get this. Like,
you can sell refillable. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
she's dead.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
This is like what the games I'm talking about, where it's like get like a small lead, and then I'm just like, what do I do?
Yeah. So you guys are ahead, which means you just need to farm up until the objective and just force the objective and force the fight on it. Looks like Herald's coming up soon. When's Dragon coming up?
2:30.
Oh, and they're up 2-0. Okay. This is good.
I can't get that. Actually, should I get this tower, or should I just...
You don't know where anybody in their team's at. I'd be really, really careful.
I'm just gonna... Oh, he canceled his ult for some reason. Yeah, they're going down here.
Yeah, I would walk mid.
Wait, they're... Okay.
Yeah, we don't really ever want to be bottom here.
There's a control ward in there, but I'll take too much time getting it, so... Why? No. It was the Syndra, of course.
Did she get soloed by Gwen earlier? Like, she's probably tilted.
Yeah, down here. So close. I'm gonna take these.
Yeah.
Can I go help her? Or not help her, just go get the kill real quick.
Yeah, this really sucks because our team's dying before the dragon. I would walk mid, don't walk bottom.
Okay.
Because your whole team's collapsing mid. And you know one is bottom, so this is a fair 4v4.
That was warded. I have to go this way.
Yeah. one good E and you guys win a fight. But for you to get a good E, you kind of have to be on the spot first. So this
Yeah.
really, really sucks.
Oh, he stole it.
Nice. Nice.
I just. I should just like. Never
Yeah.
mind.
This is annoying. Hmm. Okay, the positioning is going to be a really big thing to talk about.
What I typically do on Veigar is you kind of see like I play very paranoid later in the game, and then it usually results in wins. But I'm talking about like early on, I'm just terrible.
Yeah. And I mean, your champion is an early game champion, so I mean, it makes sense. But to get to the next level, I mean, imagine if you're playing a late game champion with a good lane phase. Ooh. That's when you get a really good player.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
you
like
yeah, you
people
can
here.
kill these people. Yeah, what you got to pan your camera. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the camera panning. So do you always play locked?
Yes, because if I do this, it like goes like all the way like that, and it's just like
Got you.
I'm not used to it. I'm not used to it. I know I should, but I've gotten killed playing unlocked so many
Oh, yeah.
times.
Well, yeah. Whenever you try to improve a mechanic, whether that's, camera control, using F keys, camera panning, clicking more, like whenever you improve a mechanic, you're going to be worse in the beginning, right?
I guess that makes sense.
So actually, what I recommend people is like, if you're not comfortable losing games on your main account, when you're practicing a mechanic that you know you need to get better at, like we're gonna talk a lot about camera control after this. You just do it on a Smurf first, and then you don't care if you win or lose. You just make sure you pan your camera a lot, right?
Or like this.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
I won't talk about both.
I think they're making him.
Graves cannot be bottom here. It's very annoying. I would try to get your pink down in the pixel or
hear?
something. Yeah.
Yeah. Do it after they shoot that thing. Oh, there's already a ward in
it's
there.
not bad. Not bad at all. Can maybe drop your E.
It is.
And get the ward. Get the ward. Okay, it's too late.
Can't. Yeah.
You had time when you dropped the E, but that's fine.
I have to clear this wave. Or no, she's gonna clear that wave. I know she's gonna get dove. Why did I hit that? I don't know.
Yeah, it's. I hate this so much.
Whatever.
Yeah. The Syndra's.
I knew she was gonna get. I knew she was gonna get dove, but like.
Yeah, you can't
I
walk
go
this way.
I'm just gonna back.
Okay. Yeah, I think the biggest thing. Okay. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about.
See if we can try to get this again.
Yeah, if you walk up and into the pixel.
No, I think we can.
Yeah, if you land one good E, you win these fights. Like your E is your best ability.
More seconds.
Oh, I just can't see anything.
Sorry,
It's all good.
I
Okay,
can't
so that's
help
good.
it.
That's good. That's good.
See, like
Oh,
this
step
thing
up.
right
Step
here.
up. Hmm. Okay. Nice.
You had a wall
All
up.
right. Yeah. Just get out. Man. So what do you think went wrong that fight? What do you think went wrong?
I couldn't see anybody because I wasn't
Yeah. What do you think about? I mean, what could you have done better?
going around this way because
Okay.
they're right there, and I could have went around this way because they're too focused on.
Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Nice.
Stuff like that makes you win. People start just inting for no reason.
Yep. And I think that's why you have so much success in lane phase. I mean, I generally tell people like up to diamond or even up to masters, like climbing comes down to not inting, right? Like just not breaking the rules. People will just give you away games if you let them. And you're very, very good, at least in lane phase, of capitalizing on people just inting you. But in the mid game, this might be actually the opposite of what you expected to hear, but I think your lane phase is actually pretty fine. I think your mid game could use a lot of refinement. But we'll see. Jeez. That's really tragic. But yeah, this game is gonna be really, really hard now. We have a lot to talk about though.
If they hit this one, I'm clicking yes. Yeah, they got it.
Yeah, that's fine. I think it's fine to FF. I mean, it can be kind of mentally, like you will lose games that you could have came back from, but it can be mentally draining to stay in them. All right, so
Stupid.
man, all right, I'm gonna start sharing my screen, and you can stop sharing yours, whatever.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you, how do you feel about that game?
I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, okay. I love that you said that because kind of the awareness of that is probably the first step. So how'd you feel about lane phase?
I felt like he should have lost, but again, I'm just.
Yeah,
I feel like I don't know
I
what
feel
I'm
like the
doing.
lane went pretty well. I'm gonna be honest. The lane felt good. Like who outscales? Oh man. Okay, so let's see some of the stuff I wrote down. This is the stuff we talked about in the pregame, considering using last hitting practice as a warm-up. Missing CS comes from either mechanical ability or lack of priority. And mechanical ability, this is super simple to solve because it just takes like 10 minutes a day, right? And if you do 10 minutes a day for a month, which I know is like actually hard to kind of like get yourself to do. But if you can find a way to convince yourself to get yourself to put in this work, all of a sudden, instead of having like 40 CS at 10 minutes, you'll have 100 CS. Have you heard me talk about 100 CS at 10 minutes and kind of my spiel about this?
No, but I have actually done that before on champions like Jax, where it's very
Okay.
farm reliant, but
Yeah.
then I don't do so well because then I'm too focused on farming.
So I'm gonna ask you, how
Yeah.
much or how many minions do you think you can miss to have 100 CS at 10 minutes? Can you see my screen, by the way? I should ask.
Yes, I
Okay,
can.
perfect. So how many minions do you think you'd miss?
Are you asking me how many
So
missed to get 100?
yeah. So you want 100 CS at 10 minutes, and let's just say you're in practice tool. How many minions can you afford to miss?
In total or per way? Okay,
Yeah, in total.
4.
Yeah, the answer is it's 1.5 waves. You can miss an entire wave and a half because, and this comes out to about 7 or 10 minions, kind of depending on where the wave state is at 10 minutes. But you can miss 7 to 10 minions and still have 10 CS per minute at 10 minutes. So, okay, and here's another question. In one lane, so let's say in mid lane, if you were just to farm every single minion that came out, you didn't miss any, hypothetically. What do you think is the maximum CS per minute?
13.
Yeah, beautiful. It's 12.67. Yep. So, and this because cannon waves every third wave. Yeah. So that means if we are at 4 CS a minute, we are like this is crazy, right? If we're at 4 CS a minute, we're getting less than 1 out of every 4 minions. That means we're missing 3 minions for every single minion we last hit, right? That means, you know, at 10 minutes, if we're at 40 CS at 10 minutes, how much CS did we miss? We missed about 70 minions.
Jeez.
Yeah, so like these numbers, the reason I kind of have this like spiel, this lecture, the reason I have these numbers because these should be almost like a little bit painful to see. You should be like, oh my goodness. Well, at 10 minutes, I never have 100 CS a minute. At 10 minutes, I'm always at 40. That means you're missing like so many minions. Like this should be, I'm trying to create a sense of urgency. This should be one of the first things you work on if you can't do this, especially when you're in the top 10% of the player base, right? Like you are a platinum player, you're a very good player, and you don't have a very basic mechanical skill. That's not good, right? So
No.
the whole point of me saying this is I would really like try to hammer in like just learning how to last hit. You will notice visible improvements. You're actually okay, so you're interesting because you're one of the few people that I have ever coached in my entire coaching career that had a mechanical problem, that mostly has mechanical problems and not macro problems, right? So the first mechanical problem you have is kind of just not being able to last hit minions. And I will give you credit because on mages, like mages are the hardest class of character to last hit on, because
My main, which is a Kennen, has 48 AD at level 1. It's really bad.
Yeah. So Kennen's like really easy to last hit on, but if you're playing like a Veigar or something, like it is hard. But because our attacks are slow and they don't do that much damage, and our attack speed's slow, the projectile speed is slow. That's no excuse. We just need to be better at it than somebody else, which kind of sucks because it's harder. But I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, they're your range, so
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not all bad. So yeah, you really need to work on the last hitting. The other thing that I want to talk about is camera control. So let's see. Let me think about where I can start. So the first thing I noticed is that you don't really pan your camera.
Sometimes, but I don't do it when I should.
Yeah. You want to pan your camera so much. And so ideally, camera panning. And this is ideally with F keys, but it's not necessary.
When you say F keys, do you mean 1, 2, 3, 4? Those F keys?
Yeah, or F1, F2, okay. F2. Yeah, so those that's what I use, and that's what any like mechanical player uses. But they're not necessary, especially in the West. Like we have kind of lazy players, and if you don't want to use F keys, that's fine. But the camera panning is essential.
I just never knew that was a thing.
Yeah, and they're yeah. So like if you watch any pro view or if you watch Faker, like I just League of Legends Faker POV Pro View. So do you see how his camera jumps like that?
Yes.
That is those are F keys. So Faker is kind of like the example of like the highest APM. Do you know what APM is?
Actions per minute.
Yep, absolutely. So he's like an example of one of the highest APM players in the world. If you want to be one of those, that's fine, and those players are typically the more mechanical players. But in the West, we don't have a lot of those in the West. Like we historically, like our great mids, you know, Bjerg, the other mids, they're not this kind of like spazzy. They're much more kind of relaxed, but you still need a camera pan. So when do you camera pan is the question. The question is you camera pan before you move, right? So if you have a timer and you crash a wave, your brain should immediately go, I'm thinking about walking top. I'm gonna pan my camera up there. Before you even crash the wave, pan my camera up there, and can I go top? Pan my camera to my jungle. Will my jungle be able to help? Where do I think the enemy jungle is? Is that a good option, right? So camera pan before you move. Pan whenever someone pings. Whenever someone pings a lot, right? So if somebody's pinging in the jungle, like if anybody's pinging anywhere, like you should just pan your camera and like see what's happening. If somebody pings bottom, so let's say they're fighting bottom. I'm gonna open up my little map here. Let's say your team pings 5 times bottom and you camera pan down there. What is the advantage to that?
You know if they're what ping?
Any ping. It doesn't matter. But
they might get ganked.
Yep, you get to see. So I mean, you might see a roam because you might be like, oh shoot, if I walk down there, I might just get a double kill. You also get to see summoner spells. You also get to see resources. You also get to see wave state. And this doesn't even have to be fast, right? You can see somebody like Faker when he does this. If you just tab over there and tab back. Hey, what's up, Ramen? Hi, bro. I'll see you later. If you tab there and tab back, your brain will be able to catch up, right?
Say that one more time.
If you like just F key over there and you pan to the side lane and you spacebar back, even if it's really, really fast, your brain will kind of catch you up on what you saw.
Oh, so it's like that.
Yeah.
So it's like just.
Like, do you see what he's doing? Like, look at this.
Yeah, he's just doing it really fast.
Right.
He's like, oh, I just saw that.
Mm-hmm. So just from that, you can see that our bot lane's pushing, right? And you'll get better at this over time. But if you're just here and you just watch him, oh look, we can see our bot lane's pushing and we have priority. How could you tell? I mean, we didn't see that much, but we saw that they were in this bush. They're in this bush and we have more minions. That has to be pushing. Well, we can't go bottom now because there's no look, right? So he knows that he can go back because his bot lane's going to crash and they're going to back, right? Like, this is just how you see a lot. So camera pan when you move, pan whenever somebody pings a lot, pan towards your jungle a lot. Were you there when I was saying that like mid to jungle is like support to ADC?
Yes, I saw that in your. It was like in one of the videos.
Yeah. Oh, I said that a bunch. I even said that today, but like it really it is that kind of tight of a connection. You really should be in tune with your jungle as much as possible, because you really want to be kind of moving with your jungle. Like if your jungle, like if you want to gank somewhere, you should gank on the side of your jungle. If you want to invade, you should invade on the side of your jungle, like that kind of thing. So always know where your jungle's at. Always know where he's going. Always pan before you move. So the camera panning is going to be big. The other part about camera control is kind of the I'll just say pan for information. So when you were holding spacebar in lane, I didn't have a problem with it because you were seeing everything you needed to see. But in team fights, what I recommend you do, so you don't need to go, like, I'm not telling you stop locking your camera, because if we look at the best mechanics, let me just open a new one of these. If we look at the best mechanics, you know, back in the day, like locks is the worst kind of mechanical skill for camera control. Back in my day, when I was learning to play League and my dad was teaching me, this was kind of like, we all thought that just having an unlocked camera was like the play. We thought that you would be able to just see more. But if you watch really, really mechanical players, you'll see that they actually do mixed or combined, right? And the way to do this is you hold spacebar whenever you're doing anything. But if you ever need vision, you just pan your camera by moving your mouse just a little bit. And as soon as you see what you need to see, you just hit spacebar again. Or whatever your button is.
Is it that camera view semi locked or whatever that like goes a little bit, or is it just all the time and then
yeah
you just use spacebar?
Yep. So if you watch Faker, he's using spacebar, and you can see he hits spacebar a bunch. That's partially because he's an F key player, but if we watch him in lane, look, he pans his camera to the right, he walks up, he's gonna hit spacebar to readjust in a second here. Okay, maybe it's not. He's just proving me wrong. But no, yeah, so you see, whenever he does anything, like if he makes a movement, he's going to be hitting spacebar. Or if he needs information, he's going to move his camera, right? Yeah, so when he's walking a lane, he doesn't need to be on his character. He's just kind of panning up. But if you ever see him in a fight, and let's see if we can catch him in a fight. It's a pro game, so you won't... And this is like really sporadic, so you don't need to be this sporadic about it, but the idea of panning your camera and moving in camera.
Because you can see stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And you can see like nothing's going on by him. He doesn't need to see his character. So, and we can like, there's a big example in this fight, and I'll even pan. It's about 24 minutes into the game, I think.
Yeah, it was that Kindred thing, or was it a different one? The one where they with Darius.
I'm not sure. It's one of the dragon fights.
Oh yeah, the one with the Xerath ulting me.
Yeah. So that one, we couldn't see anything. But then you said, see, I don't want to pan my camera up because the Xerath walled me. Well, the answer to that, Pulse Raid, I appreciate the follow. The answer to that is to move your camera up and then just spacebar right back, right?
I actually never use spacebar, I use Y.
Okay, and I know some people do use Y, and that's fine. But what you can do here is you need your camera to be here. You need it to. And then as soon as you see him casting an ability, you just hit Y again, you come back, and then you need your camera to be up here. I can't see anything. Just like, what's happening?
Okay.
Like this kind of camera control is very, very important. So you'll notice,
like you can see I'm terrible. Like I don't know what I'm like. I was panicking there, so it's just like I don't know what buttons I'm pressing.
Yeah, move your camera to see as much as possible. Recenter your camera. I'll say recenter instead of hit spacebar. So that's keybind friendly. Whatever your keybind is, just recenter your camera often. And whenever you need to move, whenever you need to take action. So whenever you're doing an action, whenever you're doing something, you need to kind of spacebar your camera back, or Y, whatever.
I mean, I'll just use spacebar from now on.
Well, yeah, and the spacebar is a little bit more for the quick taps. If you play with a harder lock screen, Y is possible. There are people who do that. So Y is okay if that's what you prefer. Let's see. Pan your camera frame from... Okay, yeah. So in terms of mechanics, again, you're one of the few players... You're a very intuitive player. You tend to know how to play your champion. You tend to know what to do. But your mechanics are so bad. So what does having good mechanics do for you?
Gives you an edge in lane.
It just gives you more options, right? So if you have more options, it's a lot easier to pick what to do because one of those options will be obviously better. Rather than, because I can't even tell you what the right play is here because I don't know. Like, I can't see, right? So if you're not going to be able to see anything, the right option for you is just leave. If you're just going to leave, you're just giving this. I mean, you might as well just go trade Baron or something. But yeah, so good mechanics gives us more options. And the more options we have, the better, right? Because we'll be able to see the right option. Same thing with good CSing. If we have good CSing, our options go up because we no longer need kills. We have another win condition. We can just end the game with 10 CS a minute and 0 kills because we're still going to have more items than you. And if I have more items than you, I'm able to beat you in a fight, and that's really what we want anyways. So yeah, I would really, really work on these mechanics, and the way you work on these mechanics, I'm going to write this down. Do you have any background in any other like competition or like StarCraft or basketball or any sport or anything?
No.
Okay. To practice mechanics, don't what's a way I can put this in a positive light? Focus on the learning objective. It does
not the result.
Yeah, it does
Like,
not matter if you win or lose. If this is hard to do in solo queue, which it might be, you can do this on a Smurf / in normals. So in effect, if you're working on camera panning, pan your camera more than you think you should. And that's the end of my sentence. So pan the camera more than you think you should, and you'll be able to tone it back over time. But like, this is when I was learning to use F keys. I went onto a Smurf and I would just hit my F keys. Dude, I would hit probably an F key like twice a second for an entire game, and my fingers would ache after the game. But I was able to pull, like, you're able to pull that skill. You're able to pull it back, and now you have an advantage. You have more options on your main account. That gives you an edge, and if you have more options, and you are an intuitive player, well, you increase in rating, right? So practicing these two mechanics, I think, will get you up to a solid like plat 2 player, right? From plat 2 to diamond, I think is when we're gonna start seeing some of these other things come into play. And here we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna go down this list. And these are just things I wrote down in the thing. So buying items and spikes and how to think about it. Okay, so this is, do you have any questions about itemization before I kind of go on my generic spiel?
Not really. I kind of know
Okay.
what to build against what team comps, and yeah.
Yeah, your building is fine. The idea behind like build paths, and this is just more of a philosophy thing, and this may not even apply that much for you, but the idea behind gold is that, gold goes into items, right? Items goes into combat power. And this is really what we want. Like, we want combat power so we can win the fight and take your nexus. So we can kind of visualize like a graph here, and we can call this, on the left, we have combat power. On the right, or on the bottom, this is time. So in the beginning of the game, everybody kind of starts at 500 gold. And then, you get a level, and you jump up a little bit, and then you go back and you spend your gold and you jump a little bit. And whoever is higher on this graph by the end of the game, or whoever's higher on this graph at any moment, is typically considered winning. And, that's not really accurate. It more looks like this, right? This is kind of what it looks like. The idea behind like buying items and selling items or buying items. So let's say that you have an amp tome and you could sell the amp tome for Ludens, right? So let's say we're right here. We just backed, and we could either buy a blasting wand or we could sell our amp tome and buy Ludens. So this is blasting wand, right? What you could do is this, and this is Ludens. It's a bigger spike. Okay. So what's the difference between these two things? Between these two modes?
The the Ludens has a bigger combat earlier.
Yep. Has a bigger spike earlier. But what does it mean for, the next 3 minutes? We're behind in Amp Tome's worth of
Yeah.
gold. We're behind 300 gold, right? So now the question is, when you understand that, we spike earlier and our gold we get will come later, the question now is, will we be able to make up 300 gold with this earlier spike? And the way you answer that is, like, in effect, is there a big fight going to happen on this spike? If not, then we just play for this spike, right? So this is kind of the idea. So do you know who Tarzan is?
Yes.
Yeah. So Tarzan said something, and this really stuck with me. He said, whoever is winning in itemization is the person who's just buying the biggest spike for the next fight. Like he said the key to itemization is buying the biggest spike for the next fight. And it sounds so simple, but it makes so much sense. If we know the dragon fight is going to happen here, well then we don't buy the Ludens. But if we know the dragon fight's going to happen here, then we buy the Ludens, right? Like that's how you think about
I never thought about that before. I always just did it mindlessly.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, I might as well get this.
Yeah, so this is kind of how you think about itemization and how it relates to kind of spikes in combat power. This is also a little bit related to the idea of tempo.
Because, yeah, I know what tempo is.
Yeah, because this graph, and tempo, it's such a buzzword because people just say it to say it. Like, oh, I'm up tempo. Like, what are you saying to me right now? But you can imagine these two graphs, like, if you buy the Ludens, you're up tempo here, but you'll be behind tempo here because, you have room, right?
So they're interchangeable, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it depends, when do you need the tempo? Is your team going to be ready here, or are you guys going to fight here, right? So that's but yeah, that's just kind of more a philosophy thing, and that's kind of how you can approach the thought process to itemization and what do you buy and when. Because like sometimes you'll need the earlier spike, so you'll buy a less optimal item, but it'll spike earlier, right? So we talked about this. Let's see. Camera panning, we talked about this. Mid-game macro and positioning. So this was really, really big. And it kind of ties in with this as well.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was supposed to do after they took my tower.
Yeah. Oh, we talked about camera control as well. Did we talk about pinging? No, we didn't. Pinging is like using your turn signal. I used this example earlier too, so sorry if I'm repeating myself, but this is still solid info. Pinging is like using your turn signal. If you don't communicate, whether it's through pinging or using your turn signal, you're going to piss people off. And I'm not sure if you drive or not, but I assume.
I actually did ping Dragon like 3 times.
Yeah, in this situation you pinged, but there were a lot of situations where you didn't.
Yeah.
If you don't communicate, you're going to piss people off, and sometimes very, very bad things happen, right? Like if you don't use your blinker, like that's kind of the reality of it. If you don't ping, it's the same thing, right? If you don't ping, people will get mad all of the time, and then sometimes you're gonna throw a game because people are just not on the right page. And this is just a skill that a lot of people I think have to learn, because you want to win off of your decisions or lose off your decisions so you can learn better, right? If you're winning and losing off your teammates' decisions, if you're making the decisions of a plat 4 player for the entire season because that's what your teammates want you to do, where are you going to be?
Plat 4.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to be plat 4. So you can't do that. You need to win and lose on your decision, because if you lose on your decision and you lose the game because of it, you can go, oh, you know what? I'm not going to coin flip a Baron next time. Like, at least we learn that way. Okay, so pinging, that's a very general thing. Hey, what's up, Clockwatch? I'm sorry, you look like Ninja. Okay. I have no response. Okay, so the mid-game fighting and positioning, I'm going to ask you now, what do you think Veigar's strength is? Why is he a scaling champion? There's 2 reasons, really. Mid slash, and you can, it's okay to be right, just any guess. Mid slash late game. So like,
I never really thought about it. I just
So the reason, or I mean, one of the reasons, and I think the reason that you understand most intuitively, is that Veigar does a piss ton of damage late game.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
so much damage, and this like
You
everybody
can put
understands
one.
this.
You can put like one W in it, and the people just die.
Yeah, if he's ahead, you just hit one W and R, and Malphite's just gone. Like it's not fair. But the second reason, and arguably the more important reason, especially as you climb into higher MMRs, and people learn how to position better, is your E. Your E is one of the most powerful abilities in the entire game.
Yeah, I know, it's so big and it's zoning.
Because it generates so much space for you. So there were so many times where if you drop one E, you just win the team fight, right? Because let's say, let me open up the.
I actually say something about that.
Yeah.
So in this game, I kind of was just. I don't know what it was. It was kind of like just anxiety of like, oh, what if I don't land this? But
yeah,
usually
that's
I
100%
land them.
normal too. Because usually, like when people get on stream coaching for the first time, it's like, I don't like people watching me or coach watching me or whatever. So it's normal. But so the positioning was bad even before the fight happened. Let's say Dragon.
Yeah, I should have been over there.
Yeah, let's say Dragon is spawning in 1 minute. Oh my goodness, you cannot see that color. Ooh, that was really, okay. Let's say Dragon is spawning in 1 minute. Where should you be setting up?
Not down there.
Yeah, you should be setting up right here. Right? You need vision here, you need vision here. Ideally, you have a pink here. Now, let's say that they have 5 people and they're all coming this way. What do we do? If their whole team is coming down through this little choke point.
We I have to use the right wording. You try to bait it and
you just drop an E.
In.
You just drop an E.
Oh, okay.
Now you drop an E, they cannot go this way, and maybe you get a pick as well. And now your team's ready because they're all choked up in a choke point. They just lose this fight because you've created so much space with your E. Or you just burst the dragon down. Like this is really.
Yeah, I should have worded. I should have worded that.
Well, the problem is you weren't even here, so you weren't here a single time.
Yeah, I was the other way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were here. And if you're going into their team, you don't have an opportunity for a good E because your range is so small. They're gonna kill you before you can. So let's have a new scenario. Let's say they have 3 people coming this way, and they have 2 people coming this way. What do you do now? You have 2 options, and they're both.
I can go around. I can go with the tribe bush, try to eat the 2 people, and then kill them, and then.
Yeah, and let's say you're standing here still. You can.
Oh, I'm standing there.
Yeah, you can drop an E here and then kill the 2 people because it's a 5v2, assuming your team's here because you pinged them and you were doing a good job communicating. And you just kill these guys 5v2, or you stun these guys, get the pick, or you stun these guys and fight up here. Like, if you are on the objective, it's very, very hard to lose a fight as Veigar in the mid game because he takes up so much space with his E. But the challenge is, so now the challenge for you with that information is you want to E, or you can't walk into people and E, right? So if you're standing here, you can't walk this way and E. You have to E where they are walking into, right?
Yeah,
does that make sense? Yeah.
So it's not just like throw it out randomly. It's more like wait until they're there, and then I just like
And it's because your range is so small. So it's a very similar thing I do on Andy, where I cannot walk into people because they'll kill me before I can get to them. But if I get on top of them, I one-shot them, right? It's a very, very similar idea.
I've actually done that where I stood. I'm not sure if you can see this, but like that little corner on top of the mid bush right there. I've actually stood. No, like that one, but like up the top right corner. One, the other one, the left. Go to the left. Yeah, I stood there before, and that bush right there was warded, and people were walking in there. And I would like throw a cage there. And, like,
it's just free kills. Like it feels like Christmas because they're giving you presents, right? Like that's kind of the idea. Yeah, like that's how you play your champion. Your champion is a little bit like a tank. Like you have to kind of get positioned. Oh, I guess you haven't played StarCraft. When StarCraft, there's these tanks where they have to anchor down, and then they just terrorize people, right? But they can't really roll in and do damage. They don't work like that. They have to anchor down first. That's kind of you. You have to anchor down, and you can't move anywhere but you're just going to drop an E, and if they come to you, you're going to kill them. So if you know that, the challenge for you now becomes, can you get to the spot first? Hey, what's up, Kalish? How you doing, man? He redeemed push-ups? I'll do some push-ups in a second. So what I meant by writing this down and kind of the mid-game fighting and the mid-game positioning, you need to get to the spot first. Get to the spot first. Use your E for zone control. And this is, I'll just write Veigar so it's clear. Use your E for zone control. You can't really run into people and E. They have to, or ideally
They'll just react.
running into you. Yeah, exactly. And you just take up so much space. It's very similar to control mages, right? If you're playing Orianna and you're standing here and you see their team, so you just throw your ball here, and if their team walks down, you just hit ultimate and they all die, right? Like that's very similar idea.
Wait, was it like that Yasuo in the mid lane where he was just going into me and I just threw the E up like that?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's why I was saying your lane phase is actually very, very good outside of the last hitting. But like your lane phase game sense is very, very good. And it's because you kind of sit here, and if he ever oversteps, you just kill him. That's exactly how you need to play the team fights. You sit on top of the objective, and they have two options. They either lose the dragon, which is like, is this good or bad? They lose the dragon. Like that's good.
If they lose, the dragon's good for us.
Yeah, right. Even if we don't get anything else, this is a worth trade. Or they walk into Veigar. Is this good or bad for us? Like, I mean, this feels
They're both good.
Yeah, this feels like the best case scenario. But now if we go back into the VOD, we can see for every single dragon. Let's see.
I wasn't. I wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. It's spawning in 1 minute and you're in top lane.
Yeah.
Like that's just not okay. Like that should not be acceptable. Yeah.
I was not there.
Mm-hmm, yeah, you got to get to the spot first, especially as Veigar. Y'all could have maybe done Baron too. But your whole team's spot, yeah, this is just, your team was kind of on different pages as well. And one way to fix that is to
ping.
Yeah, is to ping a lot and communicate a lot more. Hey, Clockwatch, I appreciate the follow, my man. What's up? Yeah, so this was
I should have went up there instead of down. I don't know why I went down. I don't know why I waited there either.
Yeah. And you can see now with this kind of information, it just looks a little awkward.
I could have W'd that pixel bush it would have given because I don't know if you know this, but Veigar's W gives vision for a little bit, like just a quick second. Like if you throw it in the bush, it like shows like a little thing.
All right, Kalish redeem some push-ups. I gotta do some, but give me 1 second.
Okay.
All right, Kalish, I got you. You don't feel good? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Here, I got you. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, I'm a little out of shape, man. I haven't been doing push-ups a couple months. Ooh. All right, Kalish is trying to move me back. Man, all right. I'm back in it. All right, so yeah, now you can't really do anything because your E's on cooldown. You'll be back tomorrow. Ooh.
Yeah, they went into them instead of
waiting
for them to just get on the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now it's too late though.
Yeah, now the fight's already over. Like everything already happened. Yeah, Pulsar, I have them on a low cooldown, or I have them on a high cooldown, so like anybody can buy them, but I'm only doing 1 an hour or whatever. Yeah, screw all that. Oh man. I mean, we talked about quite a bit. Here, we can go through lane phase a little bit. I'll send this to you when I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's skim through lane phase just to make sure I didn't like miss anything. But I think, I mean, do you have any questions on this also? Because like these are the most important things. And the mechanics will be really, really big for you, like learning how to CS and learning how to do that. And then understanding the zone control of your E. Like playing the mid game more like how you played lane phase. You phrase that in a very, very good way. So those kind of 3 things I think will be the biggest learning objectives for you. So if you don't have any questions on that, like yeah, we'll just skim through lane
Well,
phase.
this isn't really like a question, but it's more like I actually, depending on my mood or whatever, like if I'm willing to, not willing, just if I'm able to try harder, I sometimes don't land my E at all, and I'm like, why not even throw this?
Yeah. You can think about it as.
Sorry, my dogs are barking. Give me a second.
No worries.
Okay, I'm back.
So you can think about it more as you don't need to land it. That's something that is very, very valuable, I think, for you. You don't need to land the E. The E itself generates a lot of space, right? So you don't need to hit anybody. As long as you're using it in a way that creates opportunity, that's good, right? So if you cut off a section of space for them, that is good even without landing it. Does that make sense?
Yes. I just use it to just
right. And
not for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, I actually did want to talk about one thing during this lane phase. So you heard me, you said you watched the LeBlanc coaching?
Yeah.
Okay, so in that coaching, we talked a lot about kind of putting yourself in your enemy's shoes.
Yeah, I saw that where you just wait until he goes up to do that, and then I shoot the Q out.
So my question...
I was just nervous right there.
Yeah, sure. I saw this a couple of times, though, where you should be thinking, what does Yasuo want right now?
He wants to push it in.
Yep, he wants these 2 minions, and he has his Q, or is it his Q3 up. So what is he going to try to do, knowing that he wants these minions and he has Q3 up?
He's gonna throw the Q through the middle of those 2 minions.
He's gonna try to line it up so he hits you. So you can envision this line coming from him. If he wants to hit the minions, he's gonna cast it this way. You cannot get on this line. Right?
Okay.
And let's see what happens.
I stand right on the line.
You are standing right on the line, yeah. And so I saw that a couple of times. It's not a major thing, but the way to get better, and it will start to matter in plat 2, diamond 4. And the way to kind of combat that is really, really think about what is Yasuo doing. And it also helps with the dashing a little bit too, because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know what Yasuo is doing. He's just dashing all over like a maniac. Well, like, no.
I know what he's doing. He's just trying to just shove it in so he can get Prio.
Exactly. Yeah. Like if you step up and he's standing here, well, obviously he's gonna dash this minion and he's gonna get an auto on you and he gets to walk away. Like it's just what a Yasuo wants to do. If you really think about it from the Yasuo shoes, it didn't feel so random. Ooh.
Yeah, most of this was just me being nervous,
and that's
completely and I still killed him there. Remember,
think about the opponent and what they want in the next second, 10 seconds, and couple of minutes, right? So are they trying to set up enough money to back for a lost chapter? Does the Yasuo want to save up money for Berserker Greaves? That kind of thing. And this is minor, but in Diamond 4 Plus, this will really start to matter for you, I think.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I think, yeah, I think this is really, really good. I mean, do you have any questions or anything else you want to see in this?
I don't think so. That was a lot. I didn't think about the whole sell your item thing. I never thought about that.
Yeah, we did talk about it a lot. So yeah, this was awesome though, and hopefully we'll get this up on YouTube and hopefully you can watch it back. That is kind of the thing with my coaching. My goal is, I feel like a lot of coaches, I mean, not to diss anybody, but a lot of coaches want consistent clients But my goal is to like never see my clients ever again. Like I want you to be my rating next time I talk to you. You know what I mean? Like, so my goal. So I do kind of try to dump a lot on people, but that is why I try to write it down and I try to, you know, record it if the client's fine with that, and then you know try to give you a lot of information they can come back to.
For sure.
And obviously, I want to see y'all again. But I do want to teach you guys how to climb in solo queue, right?